Hi friends, welcome to Beautifully Bookish Bethany. Today I am starting a new reading vlog for A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas. Okay, so it is Tuesday, February 16th, and Court of Silver Flames releases today. I pre-ordered the audiobook, so it is available on my phone, which is what I'm going to start with because I also pre-ordered the physical copy, but it is probably not going to get here till Saturday, so that's exciting. But that's okay. We're going to start with the audiobook, and I thought it would be interesting to take you guys along on my journey. I do hear that this one is much more mature than previous books in the series, and I like prickly heroines. Nesta is kind of a polarizing character, but I think she's interesting. I think this book has potential to be very interesting, so I'm going to start it this morning and we'll see how we go. It is a long book. The audiobook is 26 hours. I do listen at faster speed, so it's not going to actually take me 26 hours, but it's a chunker. Hey guys, so I wanted to pop in real quick, let you guys know that this is going to be a spoilery vlog. I wasn't sure when I first started the video if it was going to be spoilers or not, but I am fully going spoilers. So if you have not yet read A Court of Silver Flames and you do not want to be spoiled for things that happen, don't watch the video. Come back, watch it later after you've read the book, or if you just don't care about spoilers, feel free to watch if you just want to see how I feel about it. But yeah, this is going to be a totally spoilery vlog. I will also be filming a review of this sometime in the next few days. So you can expect to see it go up probably alongside the vlog. So if you haven't read it yet and you just kind of want to get my thoughts without spoilers, check out the review video where probably what I'll do is make it spoiler free with a slight spoiler section dealing with content warnings, because there are a lot of big content warnings in this book. So yeah, but FYI, spoilers ahead. It is the morning. I'm gonna put in my headphones and start the audiobook while I go make breakfast. I'll update you guys later. Hey guys, so it is 2 o'clock. I have been periodically listening to the audiobook when I've been able to, and I actually just got done listening while I was addressing a bunch of packages for my patrons who get quarterly mailings. Some of the higher levels I do quarterly mailings. I'll show a picture in here of all the packages I just packed and addressed. So I am about to head off to the post office. I will continue listening to the audiobook. But first I thought I would do a little bit of an update on how things are going. So far, I'm really liking it, and I had a feeling I would enjoy it, even though, yeah, Nesta is kind of an asshole. A lot of this book is about the trauma she's dealing with and the way that she shuts down and lashes out and does things to try to deal with her PTSD and depression. And yeah, I just think it's compelling. I think it's really interesting. I like complicated, prickly female characters, and Nesta is definitely different from other heroines that we've seen from Sarah J Maas. She is much more damaged, much more prickly, and yeah, I think it's interesting. It's like a different book for her. I'm currently in the middle of chapter 12, but the book basically begins with Rhys and Feyre setting an ultimatum for Nesta. She's continuing to run up tabs on their income with drinking and gambling and kind of living in not great circumstances. And so they finally pull her out of it and are basically like, you're either going to go up to the mountains and start training with Cassian and get out of this, or you can go back to the human realm, where of course people would probably end up killing her because she's Fae. Meanwhile, she's also trying to figure out how to control this intense power that she had taken from the cauldron, etc. Obviously, she's pissed off. She doesn't want to go, but is kind of left with no choice. So she goes up there and then just refuses to train and is a jerk to people for the most part. But I think you get to see a lot of her internal world. You get to see a lot of how she's feeling and what she's thinking, and how it's not that she doesn't care for other people, but she's hurt and she lashes out because of it. And people do that. That's a real thing. And we're starting to see flickers of her beginning to be able to occasionally have a friendly conversation with somebody, be slightly less awful all the time. Anyway, so far I'm really liking it a lot, and I'm curious to see where it's going to go. So Sarah J Maas has gone on record saying this is her dirtiest book she's ever written. And I'm kind of guessing that this just means that there's going to be a lot more explicit sex than there has been in her previous books. I don't know. Like, I'm curious to see how it goes. We haven't gotten there yet. Obviously, Nesta and Cassian have plenty of chemistry. I'm sure there's going to be things that are going to start happening in probably the next several chapters. We're like getting to the point where I'm like, okay, something's probably going to happen relatively soon. But having now read a lot more romance where there is a lot more sexual content, like, I'm curious what that actually means, because somebody was telling me, like, which I guess I hadn't really thought about it, but the ACOTAR series, even though for a YA series, it's much spicier. Like, if you go back and count it, there's really not that many sex scenes, especially compared to a lot of adult romance novels. There's a lot of, like, sexy talk and sexy, like, thinking, but there aren't actually that many explicit sex scenes, especially given, like, how long the books are. So anyway, it's interesting. We'll see how it goes. I will update you guys a little bit later. And yeah, I'm gonna head to the post office, get some coffee, keep listening to the audiobook. I just saw a thing on Instagram of, like, a package that Tor.com is sending out to some influencers. I don't get all their packages, but I do get some. And I did get a notification that Macmillan delivered a package today. So before I go to the post office, I'm gonna go get that package. Hello, I am back from the mailroom, and guess what? Apparently we have a wealth of packages, but it does include the one that I was hoping I was gonna have from Tor.com. I'm super excited about this. We will open all of these on camera, but you guys, it is for Becky Chambers' new book. She's starting a new series called the Monk and Robot series, and it looks like the most adorable thing in the world. And I have an e-arc, and now I'm guessing I have a physical arc, and it's a whole box. So we're gonna open this. All right. Ooh, it's a whole thing. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, so we have a letter. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Like, I haven't gotten anything this cool from Tor.com before, and I am, like, thrilled. Okay, so first, is this tea? This is tea. This is so cute. Look at the sticker. It's Monk and Robot tea. It says it's lemon drop black Ceylon tea. That sounds wonderful. I like a good black tea. Should we open it and take a look? Maybe I'll drink this later, like make a cup and let you guys know how it is. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. All right, let's see. Ooh, nice. It comes with some little tea bags, so it's not loose leaf. I love it. Okay, so cute. Thank you, Tor.com. Then we have an adorable enamel pin, Monk and Robot with the tea. And lastly, an arc. Yay! A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. I love Becky Chambers, and this I'm so excited for. It's a novella, which I didn't know, actually. I didn't know if it was like a full-length novel or a novella, but it's a Tor.com novella going on sale in July. And this just sounds like the cutest thing ever. There are robots and there are tea monks, and I'm just gonna read you. I can't even tell you how excited I am about this. Okay. New series to give us hope for the future. It's been centuries since the robots of Panga gained self-awareness and laid down their tools. Centuries since they wandered en masse into the wilderness, never to be seen again. One day, the life of a tea monk is upended by the arrival of a robot, there to honor the old promise of checking in. The robot has one question: what do people need? But the answer to that question depends on who you ask and how. They're going to need to ask it a lot. How cute. I am so excited. Thank you so much to Tor.com for this lovely package. I'm so excited. I saw someone post a picture of this and I was like, what if I got that package? And I did, and I'm so excited. Okay, so, I mean, I don't know if anything else in the mail is going to quite top this. Let's open the other packages also, because we're here. Yay, vlog content. Okay, I have another thing from Macmillan. I am guessing this is because I won a giveaway for a pin related to the Wayward Children series by Shauna McGuire, which I love, so I'm guessing that's what this is. Let's see. Yes, it is. That's what it was. Ah, yay. I'm so excited to have this. This is so cool. Okay, so here's the pin. It says, "Be sure," and this is related to the latest Wayward Children book, so what great book mail today from Tor.com. This is super exciting. So pretty. Oh, thank you. That's so cool. Okay, last thing, I have a package from Entangled Publishing. I don't think I'm expecting anything from them, so I'm not sure what this is, but we'll see. It's like Tor.com can just send me whatever they want because I love their stuff. I don't know what this one is though. Ugh, these packages are so hard to open. Oh, okay, cool. Did they ask me about this? Maybe they did. Maybe I just forgot about it. I think they might have asked about this. It's called The Spinster and the Rake by Eva Devon. I think I did get an email about this, but this sounds like fun. Oh, yes. Okay. The marriage game is afoot in this clever blend of My Fair Lady meets Pride and Prejudice with a twist. Yes. Okay, I'm very excited for that. Pride and Prejudice meets My Fair Lady. Yeah. Thank you, Entangled. Okay, cool. This was such a great mail day. I'm like thrilled. All right, so hopefully this was fun. I will be back with more Court of Silver Flames content once I've listened to some more. See you guys later. Hey guys, so I am out and about, done with the post office, but I am enjoying this. We had our first steamier scene with, solo time with Nesta. So that's new for Sarah J Maas. Way to go. This is definitely reading more like a typical romance, like a typical fantasy romance. I have more thoughts, which I'll give you later, but I just wanted to say she's like working out and Cassian's training her. I low-key want to do like a Court of Silver Flames ab workout video. We'll see, maybe. Hey guys, so I am back home. I just finished listening to chapter 19. It's like 5:30 at night. Another pretty steamy scene involving a angry hand job, basically. It's interesting reading this because I think what it is Sarah J Maas is just leaning hard into adult fantasy / paranormal romance tropes. And I think this is part of why they've been trying to rebrand her alongside authors like J.R. Ward or Cressley Cole, because she's really pivoting and rebranding herself as an adult romance author with a lot of fantasy. And yeah, I mean, you're seeing that in the steam levels increasing, the number of steamy scenes increasing, but you're still getting the same world, the same characters. And I think one thing that is really striking me as I'm reading A Court of Silver Flames that I really enjoy from Sarah J Maas, and this is something that I think some people are put off by in her writing, but I really enjoy it, is she does a great job of writing these very cozy domestic scenes, and I just find it so comforting to read. I feel like there are people who get irritated by some of those scenes where she's like, reading a romance novel in the bathtub, or, maybe not so much cozy domestic, but like scenes of working out with Cassian or whatever it is. But I like that. I like the cozy feel of it, that it's not always epic. It is really about the characters. It is really about the romance. Like, there are larger things happening in the world. There are political machinations, and occasionally we'll get a scene talking about whatever those things are that are happening not on the page. But so much of the book is about Nesta and Cassian, and it's really about Nesta's journey to healing, and she continues to deal with PTSD and guilt and flashbacks and anger and fear, and I just think it's really powerful letting her be angry, letting her express how she's feeling and slowly come to healing in her own way. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of loving this. I think it's a wonderful book. I think it's an important book. And people who are not already fans of Sarah J Maas, who don't like her writing, they're not going to suddenly read this book and think, "Oh my God, it's so amazing." But I think if you like what she does, what I can tell you is she's really amping up the steam levels, and she's giving us something a little bit different in terms of a character. Nesta is for sure the most broken heroine that we've gotten from her in the past. And I really like her dynamic with Cassian because he also has been through trauma and he has somewhat come out the other side and pushes her to be like, look, you are not the only person who's been hurt. Like, you can feel your feelings. You can take as long as you need to heal, to face what you've been through, to deal with it. Like, I don't care. You do what you need to do, but it just isn't true that you're the only person who understands. It just isn't true that other people haven't also been through pain and trauma and suffering and taken years to deal with it. So anyway, I expected to like this, but I'm now so happy that I decided to pre-order a finished copy because I'm really loving this. So far, it's definitely the highlight of the ACOTAR series for me. I've enjoyed reading all of them, although like A Court of Frost and Starlight. We just won't talk about A Court of Frost and Starlight. Like, that was not my favorite. But this is something new, and I think you can really see Sarah J Maas maturing as an author and finding where she fits as an author writing for adults. Other things that are interesting, there have been a couple of little Easter eggs hinting at the fact that, as we've kind of come to realize, all of her books, all of her different worlds are semi-interconnected, and I think that's fun. You see that more and more the more books I'm reading from her, between the Throne of Glass series, the Crescent City series, and the ACOTAR series. They're all parallel worlds, and there's a priestess, I think she's a priestess, who has done some research on the idea that maybe there's 11 different parallel worlds, or as many as 26. Another thing that I'm really curious to see how it pans out is there was mention of Valkyries and doing research on the training practices of Valkyries. And so I don't know if that's going to be relevant to this book or relevant to later books. And I'm trying to remember, it's been a while since I read it. I'm going to have to do a reread of House of Earth and Blood before the sequel comes out, but am I wrong in thinking there was a mention of Valkyries in that book? I am not sure, but there was a mention of this same person doing research on the history of the Valkyries, who are no longer exist in this world, but their training practices and stuff. And this also could be a solution to the problem of having female fighters. One of the things about this world, it is the Fae are deeply patriarchal. There's a lot of misogyny, and Cassian and Rhys have had a hard time pushing them to let women into the military, into elite forces. And so I'm wondering if perhaps the solution to that is going to be creating a new legion of elite female warriors who train like the Valkyries. Like, that could be an interesting solution. So yeah, I am, like, honestly really, really enjoying this. The pacing of it is so comforting for me. And I've been reading a lot of more intense books lately, and so reading something that is more slow and cozy and character driven and has these little moments that take breaks from the action. I know some people don't like that, but that's really what this is. Like, and you can tell Sarah J Maas is more interested in the character arc and in those domestic scenes than she is in the big battle scenes and stuff. And you can tell too, and she's also just better at writing them, to be perfectly honest. Like, she's gotten somewhat better, but like, her strengths don't lie in writing epic battle scenes. Her strengths really lie in writing interpersonal interactions and character journeys and like cozy domestic scenes and like those moments in between stuff. And that's where I think she really shines as a fantasy romance author and what I am enjoying from it. One thing that I will say is, when we get the scenes about the wider world and the politics, I'm probably less interested in that than anything else. I am most invested in Nesta and Cassian's journey, in Nesta's personal journey to healing, in their relationship developing, in her relationships maybe finding healing with other people like her sisters. That is really what I'm here for, and that's what I find most interesting. So like all this other stuff about Fae politics and the human queens and like whatever else is happening, I'm like, okay, like cool, that's fine. That's just like less what I'm interested in. But it's nice to have that kind of background where it's like, okay, there is like a larger plot happening, but it doesn't really matter as much. You know what I mean? Like the real stakes here are the relationships. And I think if you go into this thinking, oh, what are the stakes going to be? Is it going to be this big political thing? Like that's just not what this is about. It's not what the book is. And that's fine. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited to see this kind of slow burn relationship develop. Honestly, I think this is likely to end up being my favorite book in the series, and I really like Nesta as a character. I know she's prickly, I know she's a jerk, and not everybody likes her, but I think we're really seeing the reasons for that, and I just think it's well done. One thing, okay, one other thought I had that, that I think is kind of interesting. This has a lot of scenes of her working out with Cassian and doing physical training, and we get a lot of detail of like her aching muscles and like stretching and all of these different things. And what's funny is I've seen Sarah J Maas in some live streams talk about how during the year that she was writing A Court of Silver Flames, she was for the first time starting more of an exercise routine. And so I think you can really see that. And this isn't the first time I've seen real life stuff pop into her books. Like I think you know, if you know more about her life, you can see how she'll just like put that in. And so it's funny because you'll get all this stuff about like, you always need to stretch to get the lactic acid out of your muscles. And like, I bet you can't even do a plank for 5 seconds. Let's work up to 30 seconds. And like, it's like these little things that I think are charming. It's one of those things where I have a feeling there's people who are going to be like, this is so dumb, it's a fantasy world, why are we doing that, and like be annoyed, but like I think it's funny and kind of charming. Seriously, when I get my physical copy, maybe I will sit down and look at that chapter and see if I can like recreate Cassian's ab workout that he gives to Nesta, and we could do a whole video about it. I think that would be kind of fun to do, like yeah, so we'll see. Anyway, thoughts about some future content. With that said, I'm going to let you guys go. I just finished having dinner. I'm going to listen to a little bit more. And then actually tonight, I'm going to be going live over on my friend Mara's channel, Books Like Whoa. Me and her and Ashley from Bookish Realm are going to be doing a live stream that will be over by now, but I'll link it up above if you want to check it out later. But we're going to be talking about fat representation in romance, like what we want to see, what we don't want to see, good and bad examples of it, which I'm really looking forward to. I think it's going to be a great conversation, and they're two people I really enjoy spending time with. So that's going to be part of my evening, but I plan to continue listening to the audiobook, and I can't wait till my physical copy gets here. I'm really excited to see it in person. Sadly, I don't think it's going to be here till Saturday. Which is such a bummer. This is the thing. Amazon will do like release day delivery, but I got the Barnes & Noble edition because I think it has like an extra scene I was interested in. But like, can't they just ship them earlier so you get release day delivery? Like that would be so nice. But part of it might be because there's this like big snowstorms all over the country, so I know shipping is delayed, but still, like really, can we do it a little faster? It's fine. It'll be here Saturday. It's Tuesday, so like I'm probably going to finish the book before my physical book gets here. It's fine. It will be nice when it arrives. All right, I'm going to go. I've been talking a lot. I will check in with you guys later. Bye. All right, I am ready for the live stream. I decided, because you know there's this whole controversy right now about millennials and our side parts, and apparently like the new generation is into the center part. So I was like, well, let's do a little center part for my live stream so I can be like on trend. Not really, I was just playing with my hair. Anyway, so I'm ready. I have my boozy cucumber peach sparkling water. I really like these. They're not sweetened. They're pretty good. Anyway, so I have that, about to go live. I am currently on chapter 28, and yeah, like we're getting lots of steamy scenes, guys. Sarah J Maas is like amping it up. I'm curious to see what we get from her in the future. In addition to the things I previously talked about since the last time I checked in, we have had 2 oral sex scenes, one for her, one for him. that are very explicit. So yeah, I mean, like, she's definitely clearly pivoting towards quite adult romance. And, you know, I'm not upset about it, but I am really liking it. I'm also enjoying how between Cassian and Nesta, they're working together to put together these sort of self-defense classes for women who have experienced trauma. I'm liking a lot of the way that this book is tackling issues of trauma, and whether it's like through violence, through sexual assault, and ways of healing, ways of having empowerment for women. It's an ongoing theme, and I think that's really great. So yeah, I am continuing to really love this book. It's going really well for me. I'm, I guess, about a third of the way into it at this point. It is a long book, but I'm loving it. It's been awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna go hop on now. We're going live in about 15 minutes, see if the ladies are on early. Sometimes we chat before a little bit. And if I remember, I'll take a couple clips. Hey guys, did I remember to actually film during the live show? No, I did not. It was great. We had really good conversation, and then it ended up devolving into like wild hilariousness. It was really good. So yeah, it's 10:15. I am going to get in some PJs and probably keep on listening to some more of the audiobook. All right, so it is pretty late. I'm about to go to sleep. I thought I would do one more quick little update before that. I am on chapter 39, and chapter 37, we got a quite steamy scene. Definitely more intensely and dramatically so than anything I've read from Sarah J Maas before. So I mean, I think I'm going to continue to say she's leaning hard into the romance genre, guys. Like, she is writing an adult romance series now, and like, that's what it is. I'm continuing to really like it. I think Nesta is a really interesting character. She's a great character, and the book is pretty awesome. I'm about halfway through at this point. A little more than halfway through, so I will probably finish it up tomorrow. Have a good night. Hey guys, good morning. I am tired today. Like, I just feel like I probably didn't sleep as well as I could have. But that said, I have been continuing to listen to some more of the book. I think I'm at chapter like 47 or so. I mean, you know, I could talk about the fact that, yes, have there been more sex scenes? Yes, there have. Are they quite explicit and like more intense than anything she's written before? Yep, they totally are. Are they like anything out of the ordinary for people who are big romance readers and read a lot of that kind of romance anyway? No, they're not. And I you know, I want to talk about other things about the book than just that. And I just think the big takeaway with this is Sarah J Maas is writing adult romance, and, you know, she's doing a pretty good job with it. I think that the way it's written adds a lot to the characters and to their internal emotional development. You know, like, there's more aggressive sex taking place, but that makes sense because they're dealing with trauma and like some of, I don't know, like, it just, I think it works. That said, the other thing I really want to talk about is, we're gonna be spoilery here. So in this book, Feyre is pregnant, and they're concerned because she has a very high risk pregnancy because of the form she was in when they conceived the baby. The baby has wings, but then she changed back, and her body is not designed to be able to safely give birth to a baby with wings, and they're worried it might kill her, and they're keeping this knowledge from her, right? And everybody's voted to not tell her for fear that, like, worried that the fear would be worse, which I have some major issues with. I think, like, keeping the knowledge of somebody's healthcare or health issues from them is really problematic, especially with pregnancy and like high risk pregnancy. And like, is it stressful? Yeah, absolutely. But like, to just not tell her is pretty messed up. So at some point, Nesta gets really pissed off and tells her, even though no one is supposed to, and then is like, I realize I went too far. And I have like mixed feelings about it, because on some level I'm like, somebody needed to tell her. I don't care if Reese forbade anybody from telling her about this. It's wrong. Like, this is what they used to do to women who were pregnant and thought that they were too weak to handle the reality of their medical status, and that's just not okay. So anyway, I have a lot of feelings about this, but yeah, I'm gonna keep listening. We'll see how it goes. Hello, hello. Time for a tea break. I am gonna try my new tea that Tor.com sent me because I said I was going to. Perfect time. And I made apple muffins with the kids today. Let's do a taste test of the tea. I did put a little cream in it. It's good, yeah. It's like a slightly lemony black tea. Delicious. So it is 3:30. Our babysitter just got here. I need to go grocery shopping because it's gonna snow tomorrow. So it has been a struggle of a day though. I told you I was tired earlier. I'm definitely tired. I am continuing to make my way a little bit through the audiobook. I didn't listen to as much today just because I was more with the kids. One thing is I've had to slightly slow down the speed I'm listening to it from. Not a lot. I'm still listening to it faster than most people do. But I have this weird thing where sometimes if I'm having anxiety, it can get more triggered by listening at super high speeds. I don't know if that's just me. So because I've been having that, I'm not listening quite as quickly as I probably otherwise would. I think I have something like 3.5 actual hours of listening time left at my current speed. And I'm curious to see what happens. My friend reached out to me because she said that she had heard something. She didn't tell me what because spoilers, but she said she had heard something about the end of the book that someone was really upset about and gave it a low score because of. And so I don't know what it is. I'm really curious to get there and find out and see how I feel about it. And I will, of course, let you guys know. It's interesting because I know Izzy from Happy for Now. I haven't read it yet because it's a spoilery review, but I saw her post her review and I do know she said she loved it. She gave it 5 stars, but also that there was some content she wasn't expecting. So maybe it's that. So now I'm like super curious to see. So in terms of where I'm at now, I think I'm on chapter 51. Nesta and Cassian ended up going on a long, brutal hike after this whole thing that happened with her telling Feyre what went on. And like Feyre is being very gracious about it. Rhys is sort of getting over it. And she had this really great moment where she broke down in tears and just like let a lot of stuff out that I think she had been bottling up emotionally for years and years and years. And I am loving the way this is really giving her space to talk and address trauma and choices and pain and things from so many different parts of her life. And it's part of her finally facing these things that she's ignored and kept inside for years and hopefully ultimately finding healing for them. Yeah, so I just think that's beautiful. It's great. There's been more sex. There's a lot of sex in this book. It's like, given the length of it though, it's not unreasonable for a book that is legitimately genre romance. That's what it's reading like. And it is quite spicy. But I think it's done in a way that makes sense for the characters and makes sense for how Nesta is processing her anger and processing her trauma. And yeah, I don't know. I'm liking it. There is like a lot more description. There's a lot more body fluids described in detail. A lot more dirty talk than we've had previously. So like this is a whole new Sarah J Maas. So I would not give this book to teenagers. All right. I need to go grocery shopping, so I'm going to pop in my headphones and listen to some more of the audiobook while I do that. Wish me luck. Hey guys, I just got back home with the groceries, so I'm going to put them away and keep listening, but I thought I would do a little bit of an update because I feel like a lot happened in the hour or so I was listening. I am halfway through chapter 57, which is the scene where Nesta is dancing at the ball. And it's interesting because in my head, it's like Dancing with the Stars is kind of how it seems to read, which is funny. I think it's kind of fun to have Nesta have this like amazing skill at dancing that you never would expect. I mean, I guess they're all a kind of a creative family in one way or another. Feyre does her art. Nesta can dance, even though she can't sing. Yeah, I am a little bit nervous that the guy, I can't think of his name right now, but the guy that she's dancing with and they want her to like low-key seduce him but not into bed, I'm worried that we're going to end up having like an attempted rape scene with him. I mean, I guess not worried. I think depending on how it's done, it could be interesting, but I could see that being something people would be concerned about. Yeah. And just waiting for her and Cassian to finally admit their real feelings for each other. They're having a lot of sex, but she never asks him to stay, even though she wants to. And it's clear that they have feelings for each other, but they're not admitting it. They're like, it's just sex. That's all it is. But clearly it's not. Also, there have just been some really, really beautiful scenes of Nesta facing her trauma and healing from it. There's this whole thing of her for the first time having a fire in her room, and it's something that she's traumatized by because the sound of crackling logs reminds her of the sound of her dad's neck snapping, right? And that I thought was such a huge scene. And I think what's interesting is that in therapy, that is a thing that people will do to overcome trauma, to overcome OCD, is actually in small increments do the thing that they're afraid of or do the thing that makes them uncomfortable, and that is actually part of what you would do. So I'm loving the way that this is handling her journey towards healing. I know I've said this before, but it's really good. It's really beautiful. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna put away your groceries. Keep listening, and I will update you guys some more later. Guys, okay, I just finished chapter 58, and it was so beautiful, so beautiful. Nesta and Cassian finally coming together and saying that they want to be with each other. We haven't heard the word love yet, but it's clear that's what's going on. They like made love for the first time, where it was actually, you know, an emotional experience, stayed together afterwards. And it was right after the holiday season when he got her a gift, and like, it was just really beautiful. But we're not close enough to the end of the book that this is not the end. Like, I know things are probably going to get worse before they get better. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm still worried about the other guy because he wants to marry Nesta, which he's super disturbing. And I'm worried that he's going to be pissed off that she wants to be with Cassian, who is a lowborn fae. Guys, it's a lot. Also, I have kind of a theory. I may be totally off with this. The harp, okay? Supposedly it opens doors and passageways. Do you think that's like the magic that they're gonna end up using to save Feyre in childbirth? Like if Nesta suddenly is like, oh, maybe we can open a passageway for the baby. Like that seems like a really smart use of that magic. So I said it here. We'll see if I'm right about that. That's kind of my theory at this point. I'm just loving it though. It's so beautiful. Like there's healing happening. There's relationships coming back together. It's really, really great. And in very exciting news, I think I got my book early. Yay! It's Wednesday. They said it wasn't going to be here till Saturday, but I'm pretty sure this is what it is. I just hope it's not damaged because sometimes Barnes & Noble shipping. That's it. That's it. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. Guys. Whoa. It's, oh geez. It's so pretty. There it is. Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. She is a chunker. Not too bad. We've got like a little bit of bending on the corner, but that's fine. Like I can live with that. Nice. I kind of love it. Like the orange book. Wow. 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 Very pretty end papers. Oh, yay. And look, we have our map. I'm going to have to look through this. This is going to be really fun. You know what? Let me actually see. I'll show you where I'm at now that I have the physical book because I feel like I'm pretty far into this. I just finished chapter 58. Where are we? Yep, there we are. That's what's left. So 600 pages in. Whew, boy. I might, now that I have the physical book, I might read along and speed it up, because that's a thing I could do. Okay, so it's like 750 pages approximately. I'm just over 600. So yeah, I'm close. Probably gonna finish this tonight. We'll see what happens, but I'm ready. So far I'm loving this a whole lot, you guys. And I'm so happy that my physical copy arrived. And actually, it's probably not even that much, because this has an extra scene in it for the special edition. So where does the story actually end? Let's see. Oh no, it still is. Yeah, it's like 755 pages. Okay, cool. One other thing I thought I would share, since I have you guys here with me, I got another package from Macmillan. This is, I think, ooh, it's finished copy. Cool. I think they did reach out to me about this. It's a middle grade graphic novel called Pepper Page Saves the Universe. How cute is that? I don't know if I knew they were sending me a finished copy, but like, this is fun. Oh, I'm excited for this. Cool. Use some graphic novels in my life. Somewhere in the distant future, in a time when science and technology have all but replaced fantasy and fiction, 15-year-old orphan Pepper Page seeks to escape the crushing peer pressure, bullying, and social anxiety of high school. Okay, so it's not middle grade, it's YA. High school by immersing herself in the classic comic book adventures of her favorite hero, Supernova. All Pepper wants is to hide from the world, but fate intervenes in the form of a strange cat named Mr. McKittens, because of course that's his name, Mr. McKittens. That's great. A sinister science teacher, sure, called Professor Killian, and a weird science experiment gone awry. Flung across time and space, Pepper must come to terms with her past, present, and future. Where does she come from? Who is she destined to be? And who are these strange cosmic beings, both benevolent and malevolent, watching over her? This sounds like super fun. So, yeah, that'll be cool. I will be reading that. Okay. I'm going to actually eat my dinner now and keep listening to the audiobook, and I will check back in a little bit later. Okay. Before, one other thing I forgot I wanted to say that I just think is super funny about the holiday gifts. Sarah J Maas, like, this is one thing that I think really irritates some people, but I just think it's kind of funny and quirky, is she'll integrate, like, real world stuff into her fantasy universe in, like, kind of random ways. So as holiday gifts, we have Nesta getting ye magical version of a reading light and an iPod. Sort of, like, which I just think is funny. It's one of those things where people who really want, like, an actual fantasy world that makes sense all the time are probably going to be like, this is so dumb. But I don't know. I think it's funny. I don't really care. Oh, shit. So I'm in chapter 64. Cassian and Nesta had a fight. She sent him away, and then she and her two girlfriends, who've been training to become Valkyrie warriors and actually completed the trials for this blood rite, which is the super dangerous thing that male Fae go through to become Illyrians, right? And like, they don't let women usually participate, but they kidnapped her and her friends and dropped them in the blood rite, which has all these spells around it where they have to stay through the whole thing. It's super dangerous. They don't have magic. They don't have weapons. And I think things are going to get really, really bad. And it's a message clearly from the crappy misogynists who don't like the idea of female warriors. It's intense. Okay, so this is where we're at. Here we go. Okay, guys, I had to do another update. I just finished chapter 68, and I'm like almost crying about it. It's so amazing and so beautiful seeing Nesta and these two women that she's become friends with, who have been through so much trauma, who've been so broken, find their strength and like push through this terrible, dangerous situation through the blood rite and like come out as warriors, as these badasses and like to love each other unconditionally and accept each other and open up to each other about what they've been through and what they've done. Yeah, it's just like, I love it so much, like the sisterhood. I just think it's so beautiful and so important. Yeah, these two women, and you know, one of them had been abused by her father physically. One of them had been raped during war and watched her sister die, had like atrocities happen around her, and like to see them find recovery alongside Nesta in training to become Valkyries and now overcoming a terrible situation they've been thrown into and proving not just to other people but also to themselves that they are capable, that they are not broken. Anyway, I don't know, guys. It's just beautiful. I'm loving it. I'm loving what this book is doing. It's so empowering. It's wonderful. We have a little bit left to go. So far, nothing I'm upset about, so maybe it's still coming. Maybe with Eris, the guy. That's his name, Eris. I'll check back in later. Okay, guys, I did it. I finished A Court of Silver Flames. It was definitely an intense ending, finishing up fighting with the blood rite, and then I mean I was half right, like not exactly the way it was done, but I had suspected that there were going to be some issues with Feyre giving birth. It did go a little bit farther, like she basically almost died, and then Nesta used all 3 of the trove items to bring her back from the brink of death and save her and the baby. And yeah, it is a lot. So, you know, obviously I think when I write my review, I'm going to put content warnings for that, for like traumatic childbirth stuff. But honestly, like the whole book is about the trauma that women experience and about healing from it and facing it and moving forward from it. And so I don't know, obviously, like not much is done with the childbirth element of it, but like I know that I experienced traumatic childbirth and had PTSD from it after my first, which I haven't like talked about in here much. And I know a lot of women who've experienced traumatic childbirth. I know women who've almost died, and there are women who do still die in childbirth. And, you know, I mean, I think sometimes we gloss over it as if it's like super safe for everybody, and it's not. Anyway, I just like, so I kind of appreciated having that in there. And I think part of it is just kind of recognizing that it is a reality, that there are high risk pregnancies, that there can be severe blood loss. You can have early term, you know, babies, and I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm guessing there are going to be people who aren't going to like that was included just because it's intense, right? Like it's an intense scene. But to me, at least, I felt like it fit it. Well, I felt like we got a lot of lead up to it, number one, because there was a lot of discussion through the book about the problems that were going to be coming with the pregnancy and with her giving birth to this baby. It does make me wonder if Sarah J Maas possibly experienced some trauma in childbirth, because I would imagine that it could be cathartic to write about it, especially in a book where you're writing so much about trauma, about mental health, and about healing. And anyway, I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts about this. Honestly, I loved this. I didn't expect I didn't expect this book to be what it was, to be as good as it was. I don't know. I mean, I expected to like it. I've liked most of the other books in the ACOTAR series reasonably well, but I haven't loved them. And this book is very, very different in a lot of ways. I mean, like, yeah, partly because it's got a lot more sex in it, but also just the type of heroine that she's writing, the way it's dealing with serious issues like trauma and healing. I loved it. And God, Nesta is such a badass. Like, she just is determined and grits her teeth and saves herself. And I love too, there was this line where Cassian is like, I've thought about it and I realize like I've trained her as well as I can. I have to let her have the opportunity to save herself. And she would like be so mad at me if I took that away from her. And how beautiful is that, right? Anyway. Guys, I loved it. This book is, it's so good. I think it's probably going to make my list of favorite books of the year, which I did not expect, honestly. Yeah. I mean, I expected to enjoy this, like a 4-star type thing. I did not expect to connect with it so deeply, to find it so emotional and so moving. I love the direction that Sarah J Maas is taking as a writer, and I hope we see more like this from her in the future. So, yeah. There it is, guys. This was definitely a spoilery vlog, so I might do a spoiler-free review or like less spoilery review to go along with the vlog, but yeah, I need to like let my feelings and thoughts settle in, and then I'll like maybe do a review video as well. But I loved it. It's a lot. It's intense. There's lots of content warnings, but I think it's amazing. Talk to me in the comments down below. Let me know any of your thoughts or feelings on anything I talked about in this video. I know maybe not everyone will agree with me, but I was definitely a fan of this. Let me know. Have you read it? Do you plan to read it? I mean, hopefully if you've been watching this, you've read it. Either that or you don't mind spoilers. Like, it is pretty much what it is. But talk to me in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more, and if you want to support the work of the channel, check out the Patreon linked down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.